Hey everyone, welcome back. Cyberpunk Holiday here. We're going to be looking at Stray Toasters by Bill Sienkiewicz. Trust me, you want to watch this one. This was a mind blowing experience this week. In fact, I had something else planned, but I stumbled upon this first issue and mind blown. So, this is written and done by Bill Sienkiewicz all by himself, you know. Uh, Very interesting story, very Lynchian. It's by Epic Comics. Let's get right into it. So, the melding of the art and the story together, um, you kind of really have to pay attention to both. Otherwise, you're not going to know what's going on here. Um, and it starts out like, I mean, you could already see there's something just, it's straight up art. There's no characters already. I mean, you can't tell right here, or maybe you can, but there's like a devil like figure here, and the devil does appear in this comic book. I read somewhere someone thought it was the super ego of the three main characters here. They're, the id, the ego, and the super ego. And maybe that's true. I don't particularly get that from this, but maybe it's true. So, anyway, there's a devil here. It's talking about goodbye, dear. Have a nice time. Don't forget to write and bring me some small animals to torture. Just just dark stuff right here, and then it skips over to and then she says he's obsessed with you, which is not healthy, not healthy at all. He's always feeling intense frustration and rage, feeling like he needs something from you, wants something from you that he's just not getting. And here you can kind of see that we're in some sort of cyberpunk dystopian world, maybe. And there's a toaster, and these chords are kind of coming alive with it to build up to this creature that's going to attack this woman. And there's a ball bouncing in her place here. All this writing is from the creature, and here it is. There's a head. I've lost my head over this, and there's a hand, and it's kind of forming together. It's picking up this toaster as a head. It's gonna go visit her, and it's so just. There's painting here. There's straight up, like ink and line work here. I mean, Bill Sienkiewicz is on fire. He's melding the two to create just this beautiful thing of art. And like I said, you have to kind of follow the story to get what's going on. But even then, it's still ambiguous. It's just the first issue, right? So she's looking for her son Todd, who might be on the spectrum. It's very unclear, but he probably is. And the killer has a drill here, a power drill that he's gonna use on her. How is your day? Mine was murder. What's for dinner? It's kind of acting like this, you know, um, torturous dialogue before he does the deed. And there's this cool panel right here, as you can see, where he's this huge, like, mesh of wires and pipes and everything to build up this weird character in a suit that's got a toaster head that's kind of leaning over her and intimidating her. And I was already on board at this point, but I was so confused as to what was going on. And you can see it kind of chases her down the hall. And there's the power cords kind of following along. It's really just amazing, and as you can tell by how many words there are on the page here, you're really getting what you paid for because there's a story to tell. Um, but she's frightened, and he's just saying terrible things like, "So many horrible things have come out of your oven. One in particular, you understand me, honey bunch." And it shows an oven and it says, "In here, the oven of a bitch. Wow. Very, very dangerous, hot, hot, tacky, tacky, tacky." Now, this class, this is a drill of a man. Big Daddy fixes things with it. Work, work, work like a slave all day long, and you make me no dinner. And she's trying to sort of, play along as somebody would because they don't want to die. She's like, "Dinner, you want me to fix you something?" And yeah, it keeps mocking her. She's got a knife at one point, pours water out at her feet. This panel specifically was super interesting, and I'll insert a picture here real quick. But it's like her face melded into a universe or something. Like it's just gone. You can see her glasses, and like her hair is like she's pushed into a wall, but I can't tell if it's her hair as well. It's just so such this is like a panel where I just stopped to look at it for so long. I was like, what is going on? I like it, but it's just like, what is going on? And pointing the knife up at him, holding the head. My parents went to hell, and all I got was this lousy tie. That's what it says on the tie. "Todd, what have you done with him? I want to see my boy now. I'll do whatever you ask. Just don't hurt him." Again, Todd, her son that she was trying to find. And it tells her, "I'm not going to hurt you. I just want bread or toast. Not too dark, not too light. In the middle only. Yes, honey." And it tells her to use the knife to stick it in something that's going to electrocute her. And remember, he poured out water here at her feet. And it shows her being electrocuted. Something stuck in her. Only you can smell smoke and oranges. And then he says, "I've lost my head over this." And he uses the power drill to drill into her. "Toast, my toast, all burnt and black, all burnt up." It's super bizarre, and I absolutely love it. And he's taking off here. And this is the part about the super ego. The part that kind of maintains our morals and then our actual like rage and everything. This is the part where people I think got that from because it's Satan walking through the city and sending postcards to somebody named Emily. And says he's in hell. And it's just so bizarre. I didn't know what to make of it at first. I tried to read the few theories online that were available because I didn't know. I couldn't figure it out myself, if I'm being honest. But there's this second character that comes in now, and this part was also super interesting because it's an ex-detective for the police who's now in an insane asylum. He went insane, and it's kind of showing him with this girl how he used to be well off, I'm guessing, unless he's like mentally He's not a trustworthy narrator, so you don't really know if this is really what's going on, but he's arguing with his wife late at night because he got a call, Dahlia, and they're talking about how, she could make dinner for him by the time he gets back, or they could let the maid or butler or cook do it for him, and they're arguing whether she should do it or not, or just let the cook do it. And then you see him waking up out of that and shooting these elephants on wings talking around his head. Um, it's untrustworthy narrator, and again, the cyberpunk aspect kind of comes into play here by just the futuristic things that are going on around, like where he lives here and everything. He's talking to his upstairs neighbor here. But essentially, he was let out of the insane asylum to work on this case because he was such a good detective. So now he's working with the police while he's kind of also mentally incapable. It's crazy. And you can see he's seeing things here, like these flowers and these birds come out of this guy's mouth. And I'm not sure if that's meant to imply what he's saying is something to do with like flowery. I don't know. But if he's seeing it or not, again, unreliable narrator. But they find the girl with the drill in her head, and like, I don't want to have to reverse back and kind of re-explain all this. So keep in mind the jam, the milk, and the toast here. The little kitty cup with the spoon. Talking about the victim, no kids. Interesting. And you see the ball that was bouncing around earlier here underneath the table. But we cut to him just kind of getting stuff from the police. He's trying to figure out the case and put it together. There's all these clips from the news. And again, Bill Sienkiewicz just using like straight up like a calligraphy pen here to just like really quickly scratch in these characters. And another thing to point out, I mean, there's so much to say, but another thing to point out is there's a malfunctioning of all the people in this story, where they'll kind of be talking regular 1 second and then just burst out saying something completely offhand and then go right back into it. So like an example of this is the news lady here. News with punch. The badly decomposed body of the 11th young boy to die under the strangest circumstances was discovered today, clad only in underwear, in front of a TV set turned into reruns of Star Trek. The one where Bones goes crazy and jumps through a giant donut into Earth's past, and Kirk and Spock follow him, where Kirk falls in love with what? Oh. Police have found no clues and have issued this terse statement. So it's just like weird back and forth. This guy does it too, who has a funny name, Lance Kawasaki. He freaks out. These people freak out. The priest freaks out. There's just all these malfunctioning people inside of this world. He recalls a lady. He kind of has this clue. Abigail Nolan, Abby, this lady he used to go see. And it leads him on a clue, someone he knows. And he used to have a relationship with her. And he goes and sees her, and this, I'm guessing she's a call girl of some sorts or something. But she's in a session here with this guy in the tub. And just based on this session and the way they're talking and the way this guy looks, I swear to God, this has to be Robert Crumb in the frickin' tub here. Like, it has to be. Because of just the way his relationship was with his lady, in real life. It just feels like it's Robert Crumb. Anyway, come back later. I'm busy. But that's not why I'm here. He kicks open the door to talk to her and ends the session shortly. And what we had was a long time ago, and it was great until it turned to garbage. And she basically says, I've got to go. Todd is waiting. Todd, who's Todd? Your son? I seem to remember something about you having a baby. So fuzzy on that. She says, Todd is a cat. A cat? You hate cats. And there's this tape right here, Deborah Disler, session number 13. So there's all these clues already being, led for you to try and to hold on to and figure out if there's substance in them later on in the story. And Todd, if we remember, was the lady said it was her son in the beginning of the story. And she's saying she's got to go see Todd, who is a cat, which she's not being 100% truthful on that. Dear Timmy, writing a letter to Timmy from hell. It's Satan again, who does this weird story about how he pissed on this dog and then you can see tossing it from the Statue of Liberty. It's bizarre. Again, I don't know what to make of the Satan devil bits. And here we go again, getting the Satan tail, the ball, and the toaster, and a weird face in there coming out of the toaster. Stray toasters, right? And this part is that voice from the toaster in the beginning in the gray paneling. And then it switches over to a yellow paneling with the kid. This kid over here who is actually Todd. And you're just like, okay, so what's going on? Another page of the killer here with the gray narration boxes. And then it shows a kid looking down into the toaster plugged in. And you're just like, man, so is Todd the killer? Is Todd this kid? Is that what he's freaking out about? And then here you get the woman coming, Mona, to visit Todd. And he's holding the toaster. And he's asking her to make him toast. And she's brought his favorite toast, which I love this little bit here of her holding the bag with all the little sparkles on it, because this looks like the kind of toast I grew up with in the 80s when this was made. I don't remember what the brand name was of it, but I'm pretty sure people from that time, just like me, someone can maybe recall it, because I can't. And here you go. She's kind of holding on to Todd. You know, I'm sorry, there's nothing we could do. There was just too damn much internal damage from birth. There are some questions. Where's his father? So it's hinting at maybe this isn't her kid. Maybe it is. And if it is her kid, maybe it's the detective's kid. And maybe if it's the detective's kid and Todd is the killer, there's just this whole swirling of possibilities of what could be going on in this story. And this almost looks like Disney animation here with the way these characters are drawn. Like, it feels almost Disney-ish. Then it goes back to painting. There's just so much going on in this story that I was literally blown away and sucked into the narrative because I couldn't figure out what was going on. Detective goes right back to his wife, Dahlia. Again, it's unclear if this is really happening or not. And then there's someone hooked to a device here where crows are coming to dump something into its mouth at the bottom. And I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. It's just so hard to put a pin in it. Todd hooking up wires, the head coming back alive, and the machine is there again. The killer. And then the devil here latches on to the Robert Crumb guy because he says in his postcard earlier, I'm looking for a lawyer that can help me out with something. And he says, Dear Emily, bingo. And he thinks he can find it somewhere. He says somewhere, and then here he is. And that's the end of the first issue, man. I mean, what a mind-blowing issue. It's just so many paths to go on. I can't wait to read the rest of these issues because there's just so much to take away from the story. Bill Sienkiewicz is on fire, where quality is something we consider. And the back and forth between the quill, the painting, the regular drawings, he's just painting a tapestry of just beautiful art right here. It's one of my favorite panels with the killer leaning over her. But that's Stray Toasters issue number 1. You can find it online. Sometimes it's expensive, sometimes it isn't. It varies in price. I would go check it out. I can't wait to read the rest of this. If anyone's curious about the actual channel here, man, it's been a struggle to get a video out every week. And as you can see, I still don't have my regular desk where I usually do these things. This is the computer desk. My drawing table is where I do these things. But, I'm going to keep pumping videos out. I'm still working on my big video. It's probably about 1/4, about halfway maybe finished. I'm not sure yet. And that'll be coming soon, within the next couple weeks. I'm going to really hunker down on it this next week and just try to finish it, to be honest. But other than that, if anyone is interested, there's also the best way to support the channel is my book, Superpunks. You can find it on Amazon. I'll leave a link below. It's about my time being a punk rocker here in Phoenix, Arizona, and just kind of a cautionary tale about drug abuse and, being young and some of the mischievous things that kids get into. But most of all, it's a dark story about how my mother got addicted to drugs, and just, for people who would want to read something like that, this is my book. It's available, and it's 500 pages, so it's a good read. Good long read. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching as always. Please go check out Stray Toasters. I implore you, and have a good day.